So we're inviting you to the Inner Shift, which is a 3-day immersive in-person experience of Enneagram, IFS, and embodied presence on February 19th to 22nd. And I would say the most common question that we're asked is, who is this for? Because we have asked people to apply. More on that in a moment. It is for therapists, coaches, spiritual directors, teachers, facilitators. If you work with people, and that could include being a parent. It could include being a partner and being someone who likes to step into a self-aware relationship. And the real, one of the most core characteristics of people who come to something like this is those who are willing to work with their inner material. And you're committed to a consistent practice of maintaining self-observation and an inward focus. And then bringing that into a group, because it takes some courage to, see yourself within a group context. And Joan and I feel so strongly about working in person within a group. So what's the baseline knowledge or experience that you need to have? And I would say the number one would be one of two things: working knowledge of the Enneagram, which is your type patterns, where you've been observing your type patterns, you've been, you know about the Enneagram patterns, or you have a working knowledge of IFS parts work. Maybe you're trained in IFS, maybe you use IFS in your work or your own inner practice, in your own development. One of those two, you don't have to have both. We are going to be offering short modules for you to be able to learn in order to prep you for the one you don't know. And then once you come together, it will be an experiential retreat. The other thing we encourage is, if you don't have Enneagram or IFS, we would want you to have a baseline knowledge or experience beyond psychological awareness. That's presence. And presence is different than psychological awareness, which tends to hang out in the mental center. It's a connection to something deeper than ourselves, something more expansive: spiritual practice, meditation, presence. Because the difference between psychology and spirituality, it's different. Psychology says, I am my story, I am my identifications, I am my type and parts. And spirituality says, let go of that and, surrender yourself to something larger. So that's the genuine curiosity that comes with a retreat like this. I'm opening myself to spiritual practice. So it's really about intention, commitment, and some baseline knowledge. So this is not a beginning Enneagram workshop and not a beginning IFS workshop. But if you have one of those, we presuppose that you have some interest in self-observation, and where you're willing to develop that capacity to self-observe and see these patterns that live inside of you. So stay tuned, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about why we felt it was so important to do something in person and to work in groups together. So I hope you can join us, the Inner Shift, February 19th to 22nd in Cincinnati, Ohio.